Okay, good evening, folks. Welcome to the Nottingham Buddhist Centre online drop-in meditation. It's a kind of regular stream that we do these days. The centre is still closed, so no update on that yet. So yeah, for the foreseeable future, we will be doing this, and it'll probably be me, Gareth and Paul for a while. And I'll be doing this at least once a week, I think. So we'll just wait a minute or so for anybody else to join us. We can make a start. So for anybody else to join us, we can make a start. I just feel like some of the stuff is coming alive in the city centre again now. It's got a slightly different atmosphere, more people about. You can sort of almost feel the energy rising up a little bit. People have been kind of locked away for a while. So yeah, the energy's definitely changed around the city centre. And I'm quite enjoying, looking forward to actually engaging with that a bit, I think. Yeah, felt yeah, a bit locked in at various times, sure we all have. So approaching 7:30, so we may as well make a start. Regulars almost certainly know I'm Richard, and I live at the Buddhist Centre in the community, and yeah, I've been practicing Buddhism for about 6 years now. Lived here for about 5 years, and you know, just sort of contributing in various ways. Teaching this class is one of those. So just a little bit about how we run the place. We entirely rely on the generosity of people who come to the centre. So we don't really charge for anything that we do, but what we do is just ask for a donation. And if you are able to make a donation at any point, it doesn't have to be related to this class, we're incredibly grateful for that. Our income stream has become a bit more irregular, like most people's has, and yeah, we're very, very grateful for whatever people can give us. So if you do want to make a donation, there should be a button down in the description somewhere, among the comments maybe, or you can go to the website and there'll be a donate button on there as well. Whatever you choose is absolutely fine. If you are a taxpayer, a UK resident taxpayer, and you want to gift aid your donation, get in touch with us, and we can arrange for that to happen. It doesn't cost you any more on your donation, but it does make an enormous difference to us in terms of how much money we can claim from the government. We are just a small independent charity at the end of the day, and we do the money we can get from that is quite a large part of our income in some ways. So I'll just say a little bit about posture, and then we can start talking about the meditation itself. So I guess you're all in your, if you do have a daily practice, you'll be in your regular meditation posture. And really what you're looking for in your posture isn't too mind-blowing. Just try to have a comfortable upright posture that won't make you sleepy, and will also keep you alert in some way. So it shouldn't be so uncomfortable that it's just sort of your body complaining at you for half an hour. But it shouldn't be so comfortable that you're basically nodding off. So you want something that's kind of in the middle there somewhere. So normally it's traditional to have a sort of seated posture. That's quite a good way of being able to relax fully, but also being able to stay alert in your mind. That's a very, very helpful way of doing it. So the posture I'm in at the moment, I'm just sitting on cushions, but it's very stable. I don't have to work to maintain this posture. So if you are finding yourself having to work to maintain your posture, chances are that will just get more difficult as you go, as the meditation continues. So just look to try and make some adjustments, maybe get some extra cushions. One way that you can support yourself, if you're in a kind of dining chair type chair, is just put a cushion at the small of your back. And that will just curve your spine in a very natural way and allow your body to just support itself. That's all you're really looking for, really, is to try and tap into the body, what the body actually wants from you. So tonight's meditation is the mindfulness of breathing, and very, very traditional meditation. People were doing some kind of breath-related sort of meditations from very, very a long time ago, probably before the Buddha, so there's a long tradition of all this going on, and I quite like to think of myself as kind of participating in that tradition when I'm meditating as well. It's not just kind of about me and what I'm doing. It's kind of an expression of a participation in something much bigger than me, and I really appreciate that feeling. So the mindfulness of breathing, what we do is we try to bring more and more awareness to our experience, and we use the breath as a way of doing that. So there's lots of different ways that you can sort of divide this meditation up. The way we do this is in 4 stages. The first 2 stages, we have a count. So in the first stage, you breathe in, breathe out, you count 1. Breathe in, breathe out, you count 2. And then you get to 10, or you lose the count and you come back to 1. And that's just a way of engaging with the breath. It's a way of getting your mind focused on the breath. It's giving your sort of chatty, conceptual thinking mind something to do, basically. It's not sort of trying to close that down, it's getting it on board. So we're engaging with the breath in that way. Second stage, we change the emphasis of the count slightly, and we count before the breath. So we count 1, breathe in, breathe out, count 2, breathe in, breathe out. And again, until we get to 10, or until we lose the count. And then we just come back to the start, restart the count, focus back on your breath. The difference there really is that you're preparing your experience for the experience of the breath to emerge. So you count, and it's a way of saying to yourself, okay, I'm ready for the breath to appear now. So it's just one more continuous stage in the process of joining up your awareness into this continuous sort of flow. So the third stage, we drop the counting and we focus entirely on the breath itself. So one way of doing that is to just feel the bodily sensations. In some traditions refer to this as kind of the breath body. So as your breath manifests in its entirety of the bodily experience, what you probably notice is that your breath is making lots of tiny little sort of micro changes. One way, if you are sitting in cushions, is you notice that your sitting bones kind of push down into whatever you're sitting on when you breathe in. So also the sort of expansion in your body, all of these sort of internal sensations of the breath as well. So you just look at that really, look at the sensations and just really get absorbed in those sensations. And then the last stage, we focus on where we first feel the breath. So that could be around the nostrils or the top lip, or it could be the chest or the diaphragm, whatever it is for you. And what we're doing there is we're just trying to focus on a very, very more refined and more subtle point of the breath. We're refining our awareness. We're making it much more subtle. When we're looking at the whole body, that's quite a large experience, and we're just sort of focusing in. In that stage, it can be easy to make a bit too much effort, though, we really get focused. So in that stage, sometimes it's helpful to just relax all sense of making an effort and just allow that simple sensation of the breath entering the body to just exist. But I'll talk about that during the meditation a little bit as well, so you won't be sort of wondering what we're doing or anything like that. So I'll probably say a bit more at the start of the meditation and get quieter as it goes on. Hopefully we'll be starting to become a bit more absorbed in the meditation as we're doing it. Some people like a lot of talking, a lot of input, a lot of guidance, and some people don't. So I try to sort of meet both of those things really. At the start of meditation, there'll be a bit more input, and I'll just get quieter as we go on. So just a couple of ideas about the mindfulness mindfulness of breathing, really. There's lots of different ways that we can talk about it. One way that I've been reading about at the moment is there are various Buddhist texts that divide up the mind and divide apart the sort of facets of a person, if you like. And one of the ways that you can describe what we do in meditation is through intensification. When we're bringing our awareness to our experience, we're intensifying that part of ourselves that does that anyway. So it's a fairly mundane part of life to be aware. The problem is we don't do very much of it. We don't consciously direct ourselves as much as maybe we could. So one of the intensifiers, as they're called, is absorption. So one way we can do that is to really start to try and get absorbed in what we're feeling. And that can be bodily sensations. It could be pleasant or unpleasant or neutral sensation in the body or the mind. Or it could be something very, very physical, like a sense of temperature or a sense of touch or something like that. So there's lots of different ways that you can work with that intensifier. Another way is to focus on your thoughts, how they arise, how they persist, where they go, and how they sort of pass away and get replaced again. So just being absorbed in those processes as experiences can be enough to really build a sense of continuity and build a sort of field of awareness in our minds. If you find yourself wandering, don't worry about that too much in your mind, because that is what our minds are doing most of the time anyway. We're just kind of following ourselves around, and we're not necessarily consciously being aware of what we're doing. So what you'll find is that you do just kind of lose your train of awareness. You lose that continuity. And that's actually quite normal. Most people do that. So don't worry if you do it. Just be kind to yourself. Just come back to the breath. And just remind yourself that you're trying to bring more awareness to your experience. And just keep repeating that, because that is the practice, basically. If you notice that you've kind of become unaware in some way, that's a real precious moment, because you've noticed that you're not doing it, you're not being aware, you're not meditating in that way. So it's very much a positive thing to notice that, really. We'll talk about maybe 4 foundations as well. So we'll start with a body scan, and that just gets us in touch with this sensation experience, this constantly changing experience, and gets us used to directing awareness around our body and joining up that awareness from moment to moment. And then we'll focus, so the first stage will be on the body, the second stage will be on our feelings. Usually that just means whether something's pleasant or unpleasant or neutral, and what that feels like. The third stage, we'll look at our thoughts, so all our sort of cognition, our memory, our imagery, all that sort of stuff that happens. And then in the last stage, we'll just look at this flow, this impermanence, this how things are constantly arising, they're constantly passing out of existence, and just noticing how that is, what that's like as an experience, and becoming absorbed in that experience. That's the key thing, really. You're intensifying your experience when you become absorbed in that flow of experience. So I think that's all I really say about it for now. But like I say, I'll give you some cues and some reminders as we go through the stages. So we'll probably be sitting for 25 minutes, maybe half an hour, something like that. So there'll be plenty of time to really sort of get absorbed in what we're doing. So if you are ready, just take a little bit of time to settle. It's always good right at the start of the meditation to just get a sense of how you are. You don't have to worry about describing it or anything like that. You may have had, we've all probably had very widely varying days. Some may have had a fairly uneventful day and quite relaxed in some ways. Some people may have had a very, very hectic day and they're quite energized. Just notice where you are, where you're starting from. It's a really important way of engaging with yourself. And it's a good way to notice the effects of the meditation as well. So if you're ready, just gently close your eyes. Just notice what's really in the foreground of your experience. Could be a bodily sensation, could be some sort of feeling tone. It could be some mental event that's happening, maybe planning something or preoccupied in some way. Just really have a look at what's right in the foreground of your experience. Because this is where you'll be starting from. There's always a starting point for your meditation. Now we can start to direct our awareness. And we begin by just getting a sense of the breath. When we look for the breath, what do we find? We find a series of sensations. And we call that the breath. It has a rhythm, it has a quality. It might be quite deep, quite smooth and regular. Or it could be quite shallow, maybe a bit irregular. Just notice how that is for you. Noticing how it plays through the body, making these subtle changes. The body reacting to the presence and the absence of the breath. And staying with your bodily sensations, just try to get a sense of stillness in the body. Be a contrast, some parts of the body might feel quite active, quite sensitive. Some parts of the body might feel quite passive, maybe very little sensation there. Just notice that contrast throughout the body. It may be that you can feel a pulse somewhere in your body. Just try to trace that sensation. The subtle rhythms and energies of the body at work, we may not normally notice. Now with the whole body still in mind, let's try to bring a general sense of softness and relaxation to the body. As you breathe out, try to imagine tension leaving your body. It's radiating away. And again, tune into the rhythm of the breath. Air entering the body, the world entering our body, and then rejoins on the out breath. you notice any pleasure or anything that engages your attention in the body, just explore that for a moment, intensifying your experience. And now we can bring awareness back to our breath. And in the first stage of the meditation, we employ the count. Breathe in, breathe out, we count 1. Breathe in, breathe out, we count 2. Until we get to 10. Until we lose the count. In this stage, we stay with the sensations of the body. Just appreciating the variety of our bodies, hardness of our bones, softness of our muscles, sensitivity of our skin. Just becoming absorbed in the experience of having a body. You find yourself becoming distracted, losing count, losing your focus on the breath. Just gently and with kindness and understanding, just come back to the breath and restart the count. Every time you do that is a very precious moment of awareness. may notice that the body is always in motion in some way, the rhythm of the breath, trace of your pulse, your circulation, sensations on the skin, sensations of pressure when you're sitting or lying down. All of these sensations are changing subtly all the time. Just becoming absorbed in that sensation as we follow the breath. So now in the second stage, we change the emphasis of the count slightly. We count 1, we breathe in, breathe out. Count 2, breathe in, breathe out. It's very subtly changing the emphasis. And here as we count, we're saying that we're prepared for the breath. Awareness is already present before the breath appears. And in this stage, we can just bring a simple awareness to how we're feeling. Maybe that we've got quite a spectrum there. Some of our experience may be quite pleasurable. Some of it will probably be neutral, not giving as much signal. Some of it may be a bit unpleasant, maybe some discomfort. Just notice that play of feeling tone. Experience. There's very little emphasis there. And just use this play of become more absorbed, follow it in your experience. Watch how things emerge, continue, transform, constantly appearing, disappearing. Now may be a good time to just get a sense of the contrast between doing a practice like mindfulness of breathing and everything else that's happened in your day. So again, if you become distracted, just restart the count, re-engage with your breath, tune into its rhythm, its quality. The more you do this, the more you'll be able to build a sense of continuity. And with this continuity comes a sense of absorption. Absorbed in a mind that's characterized by awareness. So now in the third stage, we drop the counting. We just tune into the entirety of the breath. The breath is an experience which affects our whole body, affects how we feel, even affects our state of mind. Tuning into its rhythm and its sensation can calm the mind, focus the mind, bring a sense of steadiness. Tracing the changes that the breath makes throughout the body. And in this stage, we can focus on our thoughts, on mental events. It can manifest in many different ways. It could be some thinking, language-based. It could be some imagery, memory. We could be planning something. All of these things emerge in the mind all the time. And as we're aware of the rhythm of the breath, we can watch our mind, how its contents appear, persist and transform, disappear. Always coming into existence, always passing out of existence. As we watch this process of the mind, aware of our breathing, so enjoy the sense of stillness that you may have felt in your body. So now in the final stage, we focus on when we first feel the breath enter the body. It's going to be around the nostrils or the top lip, around the chest, the diaphragm. In this stage, it's sometimes easy to make a bit too much effort. Focus very closely on this point of the breath. Instead, I'd just like you to release all sense of making an effort. Just allow that sensation to exist. Center of your awareness. It's a very refined and subtle sensation of the breath entering the body. Staying with this simple sensation, the single point of the breath, tuning into the flow of experience. Of bodily sensations, the feeling tone associated with those sensations. Are they positive? Are they pleasant? Are they neutral? Are they unpleasant? The flow of mental content. Just tuning into that flow of experience as we stay focused on a single point of the breath. find yourself tensing up at all? Maybe you're just making too much effort. Just try to relax any sense of making an effort. Allowing a single point of the breath to exist in a spacious and open mind. So now as we approach the end of the meditation, just expand your awareness from a single point of the breath to include the whole of your breath. To include the whole of your body. Expand your awareness out into the room that you're in. Gently expanding your awareness, preparing to re-enter the world. Now may be a good time to just notice any differences that you feel. How do you feel in contrast to when you first sat down? What effect has the meditation had? And then when you feel you're ready, just gently open your eyes and bring the meditation to a close. Okay, so thanks very much for joining us. We'll be returning on Friday lunchtime. We'll be doing mindfulness and breathing again. So, as I always do, I just encourage you to try and think about your meditation, even if you don't manage to meditate every day or something like that. Try to think of yourself as a meditator and just see what effect that has. Being in touch with the effects of your meditation is a very important practice in itself. Just being able to think, that's different now. That's a very helpful way that you can build momentum in your practice, really. So that's what I'll say for now. So have a good evening, and I'll see you all on Friday. Goodbye.